This is a cocktail bun, also known as a coconut bun, or Gai Mei Bao in Cantonese, that means chicken tail bun. But no, don't worry, there are no chicken tails inside of the bun. Instead, the bun gets its name due to the fact that early inventors of the bun in Hong Kong created it as a way of getting rid of leftover bread and combining it with a bunch of delicious ingredients to create the cocktail bun, akin to a cocktail. We're gonna be making fresh, pillowy, soft bread with a filling that has a rich, dense, buttery, smooth coconut flavor. Just thinking about it is making me drool. I'll also share with you my secret technique for making your buns incredibly soft and airy, and not have it turn into a brick after only a few days. To get started, we're going to create our tongzhong by adding 20 grams of bread flour along with 100 milliliters of water onto a small saucepan, and cook it over low heat while constantly stirring it to prevent it from clumping up and burning. This is the secret to getting that nice and soft texture on buns that you typically see when buying buns at Asian bakeries. As an added bonus, the tongzhong also extends the shelf life of your bread as well. Tongzhong is basically a roux formed by combining flour along with a liquid such as water or milk and cooking it until it becomes a thick gelatinous paste. This allows the flour to absorb more liquid and increasing the hydration of our dough, leading to a much more airy and springy dough. We're going to continue cooking our tongzhong until it becomes thick and gelatinous. Once we've achieved our desired consistency, remove it from the stove, transfer it to a small bowl or dish, cover it with plastic wrap, and then place it in the fridge for at least 20 minutes to let it cool down. You can also make your tongzhong ahead of time the night before as well. To make the dough, in a stand mixer mixing bowl, we're going to add in our bread flour, white granulated sugar, table salt, instant yeast, milk powder, and egg at room temperature, plus our tongzhong from earlier, if I can actually get it to come off.
Melts. Come on. Come on.
Put the mixing bowl onto the stand mixer and give it a quick few whisks, then slowly add in your room temperature milk to the dough. Continue kneading the dough for 3 to 4 minutes and then add in your room temperature butter. Continue mixing it for an additional 9 to 10 minutes. To check and see whether or not your dough has been sufficiently kneaded, grab a small piece of the dough and stretch it out with your fingers until it becomes somewhat translucent and you can see light passing through it. If you do not see any rips or tears or very little, then your dough has been sufficiently kneaded. Now, transfer the dough to a greased large bowl. Apply a little bit of oil to your hands and then shape the dough into a round ball. Place it back into the bowl and cover it with plastic wrap or a towel and let it proof in a warm place until double in size, approximately 1 hour. While our dough is proofing, let's make our coconut filling. In another bowl, add in your room temperature butter, white granulated sugar, and table salt. Mix everything well together, then add in your egg and continue mixing it until the egg has been incorporated into the mixture. Then, in another bowl, add in your pastry flour, milk powder, and custard powder, and put everything through a strainer before adding it to your wet ingredients. Now sift the dry ingredients into the bowl. Continue mixing everything together until you no longer see any white flour spots. Finally, add in your desiccated coconut and mix everything well together. Transfer the filling onto plastic wrap and shape it into a rectangle if possible. Then store it in the freezer for 30 minutes and then leave it in the fridge afterwards. We're also going to prepare our topping during this time. In a bowl, add in your room temperature butter, white sugar, and pastry flour. Mix everything well together, but don't overmix it. Put the topping inside of a piping bag with a small round tip and set it aside. Once our dough has finished proofing, degas the dough and transfer it to a floured countertop. Shape the dough into a round ball and then weigh it out on a scale. Divide it into 10 pieces and weigh out each piece so that you get equal portions. Next, shape each piece into a round ball. Once done, cover the dough with plastic wrap or a towel and let it rest for 15 minutes to relax the dough. During this time, take out the filling, weigh it out, and then divide it into 10 pieces. Shape each piece into a roll and then place it back into the fridge until you're ready to add the filling into the buns. After 15 minutes, take one piece of the dough, flatten it, and then roll it out into an oval shape. Now take one piece of the filling that you made earlier and place it in the middle of the dough. Now, grabbing the sides of the dough, bring it together and then pinch the edges to seal the dough. Give the dough a few rolls to make it into a circular oval shape, and then place the dough onto a baking tray lined with parchment paper. Cover it with plastic wrap or a towel to prevent it from drying out. Repeat the process for all the other pieces. Now place the baking tray in a warm environment and let the buns proof for about 35 to 40 minutes. Also preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit while our buns are proofing. During this time, place the topping that you made earlier into the fridge and let it sit there. This is to prevent the topping from melting too quickly in the oven when we're baking our buns. Once our buns are done proofing, take the topping out of the fridge and set it aside. Now, apply an egg wash to the top of the buns by combining one egg with a splash of milk and whisking it together. Finally, pipe the topping horizontally across the bun on both ends of the bun, but don't pipe it all the way to the edge, otherwise the topping will melt and run all the way to the bottom of the bun when baking. Sprinkle some sesame seeds on top of the buns and then bake them at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius for about 15 to 16 minutes or until golden brown at the top. What could be better than stuffing your face full of fresh, soft milk bread filled with sugar, butter, and coconut straight out of the oven? If you enjoyed this recipe, then here's another recipe that I think you'll also enjoy.